My project began with a background I set. What if in the future people viewed product design the same way they view movies and books? In reality, this background was intended to suggest that as time progresses and people acquire more knowledge, there will come a day when users think like product designers when purchasing products. This means that they will be able to understand the effort designers put into creating a product. I see this as a good thing. Not only does it provide designers with stronger motivation, but it also offers users a better experience when buying products. In contemplating how to make my product withstand user scrutiny, I chose 3 keywords as the core of my project: psychology, functional, and emotion. To better understand these keywords and to further expand my thinking, I created a mind map for each keyword, outlining their corresponding sub-keywords, and I also identified product cases that fit these keywords. After completing the mind maps, I extracted 3 words from the divergent sub-keywords: cognitive psychology, interesting, and useful. Based on these 3 sub-keywords, I formulated my initial question: how to use people's cognitive habits in cognitive psychology to make product design more interesting and useful. To answer this question more effectively, I conducted a series of research investigations. First, I explored Gestalt psychology within cognitive psychology. Gestalt psychology comprises several principles. 1. Law of proximity. We group elements with similar spacing. 2. Law of similarity. We group elements with consistent colors or shapes. 3. Law of closure. We mentally complete incomplete shapes. 4. Law of symmetry. We perceive symmetrical pairs as unified forms. Next, I looked into tactile and perception psychology. During this process, I realized the significant impact of tactile sensation on cognitive psychology. For example, when visiting Google, staff once presented a block with embossed dots, and almost everyone wanted to touch it. Similarly, we often see raised text on elevator buttons, which is designed to guide people to press them. Furthermore, to understand the impact of cognitive psychology on society, I continued my research and uncovered some negative cases caused by poor design in cognitive psychology. For instance, a survey of supermarket shoppers revealed that 61% of British people could not understand the 9 most common packaging symbols used in supermarkets. Specifically, 88% of respondents did not understand the ALU mark, indicating that the product is made from recyclable aluminum. 83% did not recognize the wavy green arrow symbol, which signifies that the manufacturer contributes financially to packaging recycling. And 79% of respondents could not comprehend the triangular symbol displaying the type of plastic used. Additionally, the UK Design Council in 2022 surveyed 2,000 households about the categorization of 12 common environmental product recycling symbols, and they found an error rate of 78% in classification, which led to a 62% offset in sustainable value. I also observed many examples of unreasonable design in daily life. For example, I often encounter restroom signs for men and women that are very similar in shape, forcing me to compare them repeatedly to determine which one I should enter. Another example is the dizzying design of the London Underground map, which always leaves me perplexed and with a headache. There's also a case where I often see Neil in the studio pressing a utility knife against the table to break its blade. In fact, the knife's tail has a mechanism designed to help users break the blade more safely, but this isn't Neil's fault. It is the designer's fault for not making this feature easy for users to understand. At the same time, I found some cases where cognitive psychology was used to positively influence people's behavior. For example, in 2009, the creative advertising agency NordDD and car manufacturer Volkswagen noticed that the stairs at the Dalen subway station in Stockholm were largely ignored in favor of the nearby escalators. Embracing the idea that fun can lead to better behavior, they sought a way to completely change the experience of taking the stairs, hoping to encourage more commuters to use them by making the experience fun. After a lively brainstorming session filled with various quirky and imaginative ideas, everyone agreed on the final suggestion: transform the stairs into a fully functional piano keyboard. The design team also had 2 interesting cases. One involved adding speakers to trash cans so that every time someone threw away garbage, a sound resembling an object falling from a height would be emitted, attracting more people to dispose of their trash properly. The other involved installing a game score screen on recycling bins, turning waste sorting into a fun game to attract more effective recycling. Besides collecting these materials and observing cases around me, I also felt the need to read more books. So, I read some books related to my 3 keywords, such as Don Norman's Emotional Design. From this book, I extracted some of my favorite sentences. Attractive things work better. And the visceral level is about appearance. The behavioral level is about the pleasure and effectiveness of use. The reflective level involves contemplation and memory. In addition, I read another of Don Norman's books, The Design of Everyday Things, where my favorite quotes were, "Good design is actually a lot harder to notice than poor design, because good design fits our needs so well that the design is invisible." To of the most important characteristics of good design are discoverability and understanding, and affordances provide strong clues to the operations of things. When affordances are taken advantage of, the user knows what to do just by looking. Besides Norman's books, I also read 100 Things Designers Need to Know About People and learned that repetition physically changes the brain by building neural pathways, and that too many options can lead to decision paralysis. As my research deepened, I felt the need to create some prototypes to test the impact of cognitive psychology on products. I produced 2 sets of similarly shaped hooks and found that when people saw these 2 sets, they attributed different functions to them based on their shapes. For example, when people saw a set of J-shaped hooks, they thought these could be used as coat hooks, whereas when they saw a set of L-shaped hooks, they imagined placing a wooden board on them to serve as a shelf. This was fascinating because the hooks themselves did not have any inherent function, yet people's different cognitive responses gave these hooks entirely different functionalities. After completing this research and experimentation, I derived some insights for my project. But when I presented my project to my mentors, they generally said that my project lacked ambition. Consequently, I began to rethink how to improve my project. After discussions with Ren, I gradually understood what kind of questions were ambitious and why mine should be more so. Thanks to Ren, you truly were a lifesaver. But let's set Ren aside for now and focus on how to make my question more ambitious. Following Ren's advice, I explored some social issues and chose the one I was most interested in, the loss of traditional Chinese culture. I then conducted further research. According to the Ministry of Culture and Tourism 2021, the average age of national-level intangible cultural heritage inheritors in China is over 63, and around 30% of projects are at risk due to the death of inheritors or a lack of successors. Meanwhile, Tencent's 2023 Z Generation Traditional Culture Cognition Survey revealed that only 45% of young people can accurately explain the origin of the Cold Food Festival. 60% believe traditional festivals lack appeal, preferring Western ones like Christmas or Halloween. These findings reflect a gradual fading of traditional Chinese culture. At the same time, I noticed the growing popularity of Chinese style design in graphic, packaging, and fashion design, but not in product design. A closer look at the Red Star Award showed that only 2% of winning product designs used Chinese style elements, compared to 40% in fashion. JD.com's 2023 survey also revealed that only 12% of consumers prioritize a Chinese style appearance in electronic products, far below functionality 68% and cost performance 55%. This shows the limited application of Chinese style design in product design, but also a potential opportunity. This led me to a deeper question: why is Chinese style design so popular in recent years, and why is Chinese traditional culture still being lost? Tsinghua University's 2022 report The Alienation of Guocha in the Context of Symbolic Consumption stated that 70% of Chinese style packaging merely mimics traditional elements without meaningful cultural context. Bilabila's 2023 Chinese style consumption survey echoed this, with 52% of 18-25-year-olds calling Chinese style design a marketing gimmick, and 41% refusing repurchase due to overpackaging. It became clear that shallow use of cultural symbols is causing disillusionment. This reminded me of viral news about trendy Chinese style takeout packaging often linked with unsanitary restaurants, sparking the sarcastic online saying, "Eat Chinese style takeout daily, live like a slave." Just as I was feeling disheartened, I saw a video on Chinese TikTok describing how ancient designers placed spaced stones over water to slow pedestrians, encouraging them to appreciate the surrounding scenery. Paths were made winding to spark curiosity and offer shifting views. This reminded me of the thoughtful, immersive nature of traditional Chinese design and made me realize that to bring it into product design, I must move beyond surface aesthetics and explore its deeper cultural philosophy. Motivated by a clear goal, I then created a simple prototype to experience the charm inherent in traditional Chinese culture. I simulated 2 walls with wooden boards and placed a printed scenic picture between them. Then, I set up different shaped partitions between the walls. I found that a circular partition acted like a picture frame, making the scenery more interesting and evoking curiosity, while a partition shaped like a bottle could transform the scenery into patterns on a bottle. After further research, I derived my plus version insights. Based on these insights, I refined my question to how to apply cognitive psychology to modern product design to promote traditional Chinese culture and make products more interesting and useful. My research journey was fraught with twists and turns, but it was also extremely rewarding and had a significant impact on my MPP. First, it transformed the core element of my question from cognitive psychology to traditional Chinese culture. Second, the research made my question more ambitious. Third, the process helped me move from a chaotic initial idea to a clear vision for my major project. Of course, I made many mistakes along the way during my research, which is why I wrote a great deal of critical reflection. Finally, these are my research sources. Thank you for watching, and let us once again express our gratitude to Kenji and Cam for their help.